Welcome back to another episode of the Expansion Pack podcast, where we download this week's content and bring it to you. I'm your host, Danzel, aka Black Ice 8, joined by my awesome co-host here. We got Manny, aka Goopmaster Flex. Say what up to the
You already
people.
know how we do.
All right, all right. Then we got Chris, aka May 25th XX. Say what up to the people, man.
Hey y'all, we here. You know what I mean? We out here.
All right, all
Yeah.
right. So
All right.
before we get into this week's podcast topics, just wanted to get a little housekeeping out of the way, let you guys know that on December 10th, the Game Awards will be live, and we're actually going to do a live reaction to it. So make sure to check that out. We'll be live on YouTube and Twitch. So come on by, hang out with us, hear what we have to say. The Game Awards should be a pretty good time. And actually, subsequently enough, this week we got some of the Game Awards nominees that we're gonna go over in a moment here. But as we always do here at the Expansion Pack Podcast, we'll start off this week with our icebreaker. So, Chris, I'll let you take that.
All right, so for this week's icebreaker, it was going forward in 2021 and beyond. How do you guys expect events like E3 or award shows or anything like that to kind of progress or go forward, based on the fact that I guess 2020 was kind of like a guinea pig year for a lot of that kind of stuff. So what do you guys think you'll see next year and then going on beyond that?
Okay. Manny, you want to give us your thoughts first?
Yeah. Personally, like I know maybe at least a year or maybe two, we'll still be doing the video conferencing until we at least get like a vaccine or whatever. Because we know like events such as E3 where like you're testing out all these games before it comes out. Everybody's just out here touching the same controllers. Everybody's not like all clumped up together, in lines and everything like that. So I believe when like if we ever do open up, it probably wouldn't be until we find a vaccine. Probably, if that ever comes, because we don't even know yet. But other than that, I just see that these online things, especially now since the world revolves around like the internet, the mobile devices, and all this, that, and the third. That I believe that maybe this is the future where we just have video conferences all the time.
Okay.
Mm.
As much as that sucks to hear, yeah, I would have to agree. I don't think we're gonna see a return to normal as far as live gaming events, whether that's the Game Awards or E3 or PAX. I think it'll be some time until we really go back to normal with it all. Even if tomorrow Pfizer gets approval for a vaccine and everybody starts getting it, next week or whatever, I still think it'll be a little bit of time before we return to normal. And even then, I think the bigger events like E3, like I think that'll kind of cease to exist as it is, just because I think companies have kind of realized, it's not necessarily worth it to spend all this money on big events like E3, especially when you can get a similar message out, through these digital events. So, yeah, as much as it hurts to say, I think this might be the norm going forward. What about you, Chris? What do you think, man?
I think at least for a little bit longer. I don't know if going forward like a permanent thing. Like I don't know, if a vaccine comes out, let's say next year somehow, and then they get it out to everybody, I still think we'd probably at least be another 2-3 years off at least before we even see a halfway kind of normal thing. I do think if they do decide to go virtual, like just going forward regardless, it'd be kind of weird for me just because I think there's a certain level of like exclusivity that comes with being able to go to like an E3 or even like a Comic-Con. Like there's a lot of like stuff you get to see and witness and hear at a Comic-Con and whatnot that you can see and do months before anybody else does. Like you can go to Comic-Con, see like an episode for some TV show like 6-7 months ahead of time, and nobody else has access to that content. Especially as somebody who's trying to doing content creation like how we're trying to do or whatnot. That stuff was huge. So I imagine that there's going to be some kind of way for them to maintain the exclusivity if they're going to go virtual totally, but I don't know how. I don't know how they're going to do that. Like it was even down to the point where like you couldn't even get certain pops, the figurines.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain ones you can only get if you go to these events.
Mm-hmm.
They have a handful that they made specifically for like stuff like that is what I mean. Like how you replace that?
I think I think the novelty of it might go away in a sense, but I do think those things can still exist in a digital world. They just wouldn't be as I guess as exciting, right? Like it's not as hard to come by in a sense. Like to your example about the pop figures, right? Like let's say you hold a digital event that people have to either pay money to get into or get selected to join, and then those people have the opportunity to only the people in that event have the opportunity to buy those figurines or whatever, what have you. I can still see them doing that stuff. It just sucks because it won't be
Yeah,
it won't be
it's
the
not
same.
the same. It's not the same at all. Yeah,
It won't be the same at all. But even in the world of gaming, right? Like we talk about game demos, or even I guess with E3 in particular, press got a chance to really play certain games behind closed doors. And it seems like even though we haven't had the the physical events any longer, it seems like they've still found a way to do some of that stuff. Um, from my understanding, Cyberpunk 2077, as an example, over the course of the summer, people were able to preview that game digitally, or I guess they had their own kind of streaming service that CD Projekt Red seemed to have in place, so that uh, game reviewers or previewers could actually log on to their server and play the game. So I think the cloud streaming like xCloud and so on and so forth may be a way to bridge the gap, at least for the time being. Whether that's for content creators or just fans in general. I know Microsoft did their Xbox Fan Fest event right before the Series X launched, and they had a couple kind of special events that you could register for, where you were in a Zoom or a Teams call with Major Nelson or iJustine or various members of the Xbox team, where people got a chance to ask questions. I think I would have to assume the rooms are kind of small, relatively small, maybe like 25 to 50 people. And they just got to talk and ask questions and whatnot. And I think that experience is cool because it probably wouldn't be something that you would necessarily do at an event like an E3 or a PAX or whatnot. I know they had like their panels that they would sit and talk at, but it might be in a way somewhat more intimate. I don't know. I have no idea how all that stuff is gonna look, but I think that it's something that these companies are probably looking at and trying to find ways around, because there's money there. Like companies like Penny Arcade, who makes packs, like they don't want to lose out on the ability to have those events, so they'll try to create something in some capacity. So yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see.
Maybe they'll like shift to more of like an outside menu thing or something like that. I don't know.
Something.
It's possible, but we'll find out.
We will. I'm hoping that we get something. I mean, it's the bright side of all of this, I guess, is that eventually we will get back to some normalcy, something somewhere. Hopefully.
Hopefully,
yeah.
just like when we were saving up our money to get those plane tickets to go to Cali.
I don't want to. Don't even. Let's not even talk about that, man. That makes me so sad. Makes me so sad. But at least we are still getting some things in digital format, like the Game Awards. So again, like we mentioned earlier, this week Jeff Keighley announced the nominees for the Game Awards. So I think right now we're gonna go over some of the nominees and give our thoughts about who we think might win, and who should have got nominated, who maybe shouldn't have. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fun discussion. So we'll jump into that now. So let's see here. We got our first category here. It's going to be the best esports game. So I know we've all talked. We're not uh, too big into esports here, but I think this category is still really interesting. The esports world is huge right now, so we'll dive into those nominees here. So the first one we have is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Second, we got Counter Strike Global Offensive, aka CS:GO. We got Fortnite. We got League of Legends, and we have Valorant. So we'll go around the table as usual and give our thoughts on these here. So Manny, which one do you think is gonna win?
My personal vote goes to Valorant. Valorant, is the hot new game of the summer when it came out in around June. Counter Strike clone with heroes, so it's like a mixture of like Overwatch with the heroes as well as the Counter Strike gameplay with the precision aiming. So it was definitely a lot of fun to watch when they had their little invitational when TSM won. I personally watched that and I enjoyed every bit of it when TSM came back from like a 3-1 lead. Um, so I'm gonna have to say Valorant on this one for this year's esports game of the year.
Okay, okay, cool. Chris, what do you think, man?
I would have to go between Valorant and CS:GO, just because when I think of an esport, I always think of like the most competitive type of game. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. I know League of Legends is pretty competitive, but I don't know if I would say it's on the same level as the other two, where like you need to have like twitch fingers and just there's no cheese, there's no BS, there's no nonsense. It's just straight up skill versus skill. I think in these games, so um, I don't know which one has a leg up over the other, but I'd have to go one of those two games for the win for sure. Definitely.
Okay.
For sure.
I like the way you put that there. Skill versus skill. That is actually a really great way to describe both of those games. For myself, I'd probably be leaning between League of Legends and Valorant. I think Riot Games is they know what they're doing in the esports world, and obviously we know League of Legends is massive. Um, and that is the king of MOBAs for sure. But I'll probably tip my cap towards Valorant for sure. It's definitely got the hype right now. It definitely blends the best of two pretty popular games, CS:GO and Overwatch, like Manny mentioned before. So yeah, I would have to go with Valorant on that one, and yeah, we'll see which one gets the nod when December 10th hits. All right, moving on. Moving on to the next category here. So we got best debut game, and that's the best debut game created by an independent studio. So the first game we have here is Carry On. Then we got Mortal Shell, Raji, An Ancient Epic, uh, Roki, and of course Phasmophobia. So, Chris, I'm gonna let you kick this one off here. I know when we talked before, you haven't necessarily played many of these games, if I remember what you said correctly.
Yeah. Being honest, I haven't really touched any of these personally. I've seen a lot of the footage from Phasmophobia just via you guys and other people's streams, and um, I would say if I had to pick a game just based on notoriety, I guess you would say. Again, I see Phasmophobia a lot, especially during the Halloween one. A lot of these other games, I'm not gonna lie, some of them I'm just hearing about for the first time.
Mm.
Phasmophobia is it seems like it's gaining some steam, so like I'm probably gonna have to go with that one in terms of best debut.
All right. Okay, Manny, what about you, man?
I have to say I second that. You know, when I was streaming Phasmophobia for Spooktober with Goop, uh, the game was pretty. I pretty liked it. You know, it was pretty dope. It was something. It was just something different. Because everything's all BR now, and like that's been like the hot take for like the last couple years. So to play something like Phasmophobia, where it's like slow paced, catching all these ghosts, demons, whatever. It was pretty fun. Had a little spooky moments, but I'm gonna have to say that will take my vote for the debut game of the year.
Okay. All right, yeah. For myself, I played Carry On, I've played Mortal Shell. Both pretty good games, but Phasmophobia is definitely going to be what I'm going with here as well. Phasmophobia, I was playing that with Goop over the Halloween season, and it was just a lot of fun, man. A lot of laughs, a lot of jump scares. It's just a really fun game. It's definitely got the attention of gamers right now as far as streaming and whatnot. So yeah, Phasmophobia is definitely going to be my pick, and hopefully Kinetic Games gets a win on this one here. All right, so
Yeah, man.
so we'll move over to best multiplayer game. So something we're all pretty familiar with here. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so we got the nominees here as Animal Crossing: New Horizon from Nintendo. It's an interesting pick in my opinion. We got Among Us. We got Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, and of course Valorant. So, Manny, I'll let you kick this one off this time around. Which one of these games you gonna take?
First of all, interesting to Animal Crossing. That game is lit. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that you don't be having fun when your boys is chilling, fishing in the dock, just waiting to catch some fish. I know y'all probably don't play it as much, but like Animal Crossing is a sleeper. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna have to go with Among Us. That is the hot tick of the summer. With Among Us being pretty much going viral, with a lot of memes and all that kind of stuff. But it's definitely like a dope multiplayer game where anybody can really just dive in and just have fun. Cause like you can either play on your mobile device or on your PC. And you just play with your boys, some random people, find out who the sus do killing everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right, so Manny's going with Among Us. What about you, Chris?
Um, so my first thing I want to say is Animal Crossing. I'm sure it is lit and it's got a huge fan base. But if we're talking about every single multiplayer game that came out this year, this made the top 5. Nah, fam. Nah.
Sleeping on it.
I'm not asleep. I just don't think it's top 5.
What would you replace it with,
That's
though?
just me.
What would you replace it with?
I'd probably put Rogue Company in there if it was me. Because that's a good multiplayer game. This one. Uh, but if I had to choose out of the two of these, or my top 2 for this would be Among Us and Warzone. Among Us simply just for the accessibility factor. Uh, Warzone's probably gonna take it for me though. It's got the most watchability for me. I love watching Warzone streams. Some of them are really funny, and I will say it till the day the game stops getting played. Warzone has a lot of oh shit moments, man. A lot of I didn't know I could do that. And at the end of the day, Among Us is super super fun. But it doesn't hit me in the same way as Warzone. That's different.
Okay, I feel you.
That is different.
So I'm gonna start off by saying Animal Crossing really just ain't it for me, man. Like it's a game where you're just doing chores. It is chores the game. I'm all good. I'm all set. I don't think that makes a great multiplayer experience. I mean, I hear a lot of people they find it very peaceful and tranquil and yada yada yada. I just don't. It just doesn't make sense to me in here as the best multiplayer game. So whatever. What I don't know what category it should necessarily be in. I mean, I know it's a good game for a lot of people, but it just doesn't make sense here for me. But anyways, with that being said, for me, it's gonna be a toss up between Call of Duty and Among Us. I would have to say it's kind of just a case of 1A, 1B. I'd pick 1A with Call of Duty, as Chris mentioned. There are just too many like oh shit moments, man. There's just so many amazing things that happen in the game, and they found a way to just kind of keep changing things up. They change up the map. It's just a fun and exciting game. And as far as Among Us goes, it's just as Manny mentioned before, like it's extremely accessible. You can get it on your PC, you can get it on your phone. It's a really easy game to jump into and play, and it's just a lot of fun. But I'm gonna tip my cap towards Warzone for this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if Among Us won as well. All right, and then let's slide on up to best sports and racing game, which I think is a really weird category to put together, but nonetheless, it's here. So first nominee is gonna go to Dirt 5. Then we've got F1 2020 from Codemasters. We got FIFA 21. We got Manny's favorite game, NBA 2K21. And then we've got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. So, Manny, come on, man. It's going to be your favorite game?
NBA 2K is not it. It just next gen ain't it. Current gen ain't it. They don't even care about current gen. Why is this game even up here?
Man, let me ask you a question. Did you or did you not just make a new build in 2K?
I was about to say, you capping, bro? Oh,
yeah,
man.
I made a new build because how trash the game is.
Cap.
You're telling me with a 90 defense, I'm talking about 90 interior defense, 90 block, like in a Hall of Fame rim protector and gold, what is it called? Intimidator, that I can't guard up these small dudes driving and dunking on me? Bro! My strength is at a 92. Like, I don't understand 2K. Like, it's just stupid.
Hope y'all understand, to get your strength at a 92, you had to play the game a lot. Yep. Just throwing that out there. Yep.
What you mean? That's the first thing you could upgrade easily. And then, like, you know, I'm gonna have to go with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. That game was lit. I don't care what y'all have to say. I ain't capping, dog. It is not cap. It is not cap. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 was lit.
Yeah. Manny, what game is loaded up on your Xbox Series X right now?
My Series X is turned off, so it's chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Look at the cheese. Look at the cheese, yo.
It is off.
I love it. If you powered it on right now, what would be the first game in Quick Resume?
You know what? It ain't Quick Resume or anything because I force closed that game.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Whatever.
In. All right. Well, Manny wants to deny the truth. That's okay. Chris, what about you, man? What do you pick?
Yeah, all right, man. It's clearly 2K. Nothing against Tony Hawk. I actually really like Tony Hawk's. I kind of want to get that 1 and 2, but in my opinion, racing games have not been the same in over a decade. Like, I have not played a racing game that I wanted to sit down and play more than 1 or 2 times and then not get bored with it. Last game that I liked that was a racing game that was really that good, I'm taking it back. It's probably going to either be Midnight Club Dub Edition or Need for Speed Underground 2. I haven't played a really good one since those, in my opinion.
Have you played Forza Horizon?
Yeah, I played it. Forza is beautiful. It is very beautiful. But I've always said I find it boring because it's like a beautiful NASCAR simulation almost, in a sense. And I always find NASCAR boring as hell too. No offense to anybody out there who likes NASCAR. I couldn't sit there and watch a
Just to be clear. So I asked, did you play Forza Horizon? So there's Forza Motorsport and then there's Horizon. Motorsport sounds like what you're describing, like Gran Turismo, where you're on tracks, and Forza Horizon is open world, like street racing.
No, that's the one that had like the seasonal changes and all that kind of stuff in it, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. I did play that, and it was better than the older ones. The ones I played in the past, I didn't like at all, and I could probably play Horizon a little bit more than the other ones. And when I had heard about the idea that they were going to be trying to make like a car or a racing MMO, I was like, oh, that's dope. I want that. I want to be able to get a car and customize it and drive it to in-server car shows and do races and put bets on. I think that's dope. Mm-hmm. I just don't think they executed it well.
Okay, that's fair.
Nah, I don't know what's going to happen. But 2K, at least I can say, they seem like they're trying to innovate in terms of pushing the sports the sports RPG thing forward. Yeah, it's got to be 2K for me in that regard.
I feel you. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so for me, I'm just gonna echo Chris on this one, man. 2K is where it's at for me. I love the game. My point guard has no issues. I splash my threes. I dunk on people like Manny all the time. It's great. It's absolutely great. And, you know,
it is unplayable.
Oh, please. We won't dwell on it too much longer because, you know, we've already talked about the city and 2K at length, you know, in our previous episodes. But I think 2K is going to take the cake here. If I was to pick a dark horse, I probably would say it'd be Tony Hawk Pro Skater because, you know, that game is just beloved across the world. And the fact that they went ahead and remade it, a lot of people were excited about it. It is a good game. I will admit, I do enjoy playing it. But 2K is just 2K is just 2K, man. Just keeps pushing the genre forward.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump over to our next category here. So we've got best family game. So best game that's appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. So once again, we've got Animal Crossing in here. Probably makes sense to be in here. Animal Crossing New Horizons. We got Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. We got Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, Minecraft Dungeons, and Paper Mario The Origami King. So Chris, which one are you taking here?
Not gonna lie, originally I was kind of shocked not to see Among Us here. But then if we're gonna be talking about it from a perspective of, I guess, a game that everybody can play, 'cause, I know there's a lot of children out there playing Among Us. I'm just saying. But on paper, they're not supposed to, I guess, because there's knives and stuff in the game. I get it. All right. If I had to choose out of any of these based on that perspective, yeah, it would have to probably be Minecraft Dungeons. It seems like it's super accessible, just like how we were talking about with Among Us. I don't know if there's a way it's on Android and stuff too, right? Minecraft, if I'm not mistaken.
Minecraft's like on literally everything. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's everywhere.
Yeah, but Minecraft Dungeons is a different game. I don't know if it's in as many places, but I think it is on a lot of platforms. I just don't know if it's on mobile. I don't think it is.
Maybe with xCloud, but other than that, probably not.
Okay.
I just know that franchise, the whole Minecraft thing. Like, I see tons of children playing that game. I see tons of adults playing that game. I see people take that game and like make whole worlds. Like, I'm gonna go with Minecraft for sure. Definitely.
Okay. Manny, what about you, man?
You know what I'm gonna say. Animal Crossing takes the cake on this one. Anybody can play it. Your kids, the adults, your teens, your cousins, your uncle, your grandpa, grandma, anyone. Even the kid next door can get some, you know what I'm saying? Animal Crossing takes the cake. You can do whatever you want in the game. The game is lit, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. I think little kids will be falling asleep playing the game. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Fall Guys. I think Fall Guys is a great family game. It's a lot of fun. Getting into like a granular conversation too. It kind of shows us that we can make like a battle royale game that doesn't necessarily have to be for a shooter or whatnot, and it's obviously accessible to kids. So yeah, Fall Guys would be my pick. That would be the one I'd want to see win. But I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Animal Crossing win because it is a very popular game. So I'll
taking dubs.
Yeah, I'll tip my cap to that one, but I don't know. It's still boring.
Having 2 questions in a row, Manny. 5 cents a day, y'all. 5 cents. Just like how he be trying to say to me. 5 cents a day, we could buy Manny a brand new hat. Because he just be capping.
Cap.
Wow. I'm not capping.
I still can't believe you're trying to deny 2K, but we'll discuss that another time.
Bro, 2K whack.
All right.
That shit for 5 hours tonight.
Yo, Manny gonna be on till.
I only play because y'all play. That's different.
Negative.
What do you mean negative?
You play because you have a love, joy, and passion for it.
Bro, you
got
you're 91 overall. You play more than any of us. I just got to 90. You're 92.
Bro.
Yeah.
That is nothing compared to everybody who's like already past the 95 overall cap, probably on their second build already. Like, bro, I only played it for like 3 days, and then when I got the PS5, like I was on Spider-Man.
You're on your second build already too.
No, I'm not.
You are. What are you talking about?
I'm experimenting, but I didn't start a new build.
Ladies and gentlemen, we rest our case. Moving on. Best fighting game. For the best game designed primarily around head-to-head combat.
That's Hiya.
First game on the nomination is Grand Blue Fantasy versus a game I've never heard of. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition, One Punch Man: A Hero Nobody Knows, and Under the Night in Birth EXE late. Interesting.
On the
Uh,
title.
yeah, and very interesting titles. Very interesting titles. They're all long for whatever reason. Me and myself, I'm gonna go with Mortal Kombat here. I think it's a tried and true franchise. You know, Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter are kind of the gold standards when it comes to fighting games. Mortal Kombat 11 is something I've played pretty decent amount. I'm not very good at it, although I think I've beaten Manny a couple times.
Cap.
All right, this is the third category, Manny Capital. Come on now. Anyways, yeah, my pick's definitely gonna be Mortal Kombat. So, Chris, I'll pass it over to you, man.
This is another genre that kind of bugs me because it's just like the racing genre. I kind of like don't feel like there's not too many good fighting games that come out anymore. If I had to pick out of these, I'm gonna go with Street Fighter just because it's tried and true. There's not a lot of games that I feel like they missed out on in terms of they tried something out like this is trash. I almost like almost all of the Street Fighter games. But I just gotta throw this out there. Capcom, listen, I don't even need a brand new game. Don't give me a number 4, 5, whatever. Give me Marvel vs. Capcom 2 remastered. That is all I need. I don't need nothing new. Nothing new. I don't need no new levels. I don't need no nothing. Just make the graphics a little bit more updated. Your boy is sold. I'll buy it. I'll buy that brand new, bro. $60. I will buy that. I promise you. I promise you. But like, they not hearing me though. You know what I mean? Like they.
Imagine if they were able to upres that game to 4K at 120 hertz, like a fighting game like that.
Bruh.
Man, make it happen, Cap.
Bruh. That's the best fighting game of all time, and you can add me if you want to. Anybody out there, that's the best one. Like that is it. That shit hard.
Yep.
Hard.
Yep. We need that. We need that. Capcom, make it happen.
The proton. I'm sorry.
That's funny. All right. So, Manny, what was your pick, man?
I'm gonna have to go to Mortal Kombat. You know, it's a game I grew up with. You know, I like Chris said, it's sad that fighting games, you know, doesn't get as much love nowadays. Because Mortal Kombat 11 been out already for over a year, and the fact that it's here for a second year in a row with the Ultimate Edition is just showing how poor.
The Ultimate Edition, that's why. But
yeah, it's just showing how poor fighting games have gotten recently. Like it would be dope to see more new fighting games with creative ways and designs and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, like I haven't heard like the first and the last nominee of this category. Street Fighter, I'm not a really big fan of, but yeah, like I said, I'm gonna have to choose Mortal Kombat in this for my pick.
Okay. I definitely have to echo what you guys said about that this category not getting as much love as it used to. Like, I don't think we see enough inventive fighting games that get a lot of press. I mean, even just the fact that we didn't know Grand Blue Fantasy and this Under Night game, like, I mean, I may have to check them out if they're getting nominated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we don't get too many big time fighting games anymore. So hopefully that can change. Hopefully we get some innovation in that genre. But moving on to another genre that we actually do get a lot of innovation from. It's got best role playing game. So the game best designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. So first nominee here we have is Final Fantasy Remake, Genshin Impact. We've got Persona 5 Royal, Wasteland 3, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. So Manny, I'm gonna let you kick this one off here, man. Which one you taking for best RPG?
You already know the hottest game, Genshin Impact. Well, I mean, I don't really play RPGs like that. So like Final Fantasy VII Remake, kick the cans. I don't really care about that game. Persona, I know Persona is like a huge game for like the PlayStation players, but I don't play PlayStation like that unless it's like some exclusives like God of War, Spider-Man, and so forth. And then Yakuza, I think that just came out. I haven't touched it either. And Wasteland 3. But yeah, I'm about to say Genshin, hot game. Um, what is it called? Breath of the Wild kind of gameplay, mechanics, stuff like that. Pretty dope. Shout out to Paimon. But yeah.
Okay, cool, cool.
I'm on.
I'm on. All
I think you should go over there.
Chris knows what I'm talking about.
All right, Chris. Well, whatever that was with Paimon, you go ahead and kick it off. What do you got?
Well, it's clear Paimon thinks that Genshin Impact should win. Duh. Nah, let me stop. People gonna start questioning my questioning my existence. But also, real shit, I have to go in Genshin. That style of gameplay is it's gonna take a while for me to ever like not love that. I almost went with Anthem. I almost went with them for best RPG for sure. But Genshin Impact edges it out for sure. Mm-hmm.
Wait, you said Anthem?
I was joking. Anthem is not best
I was
RPG.
gonna say Anthem. We still waiting on that, game reviving update.
Yeah.
Oh God, Anthem.
It's almost been 2 years.
God
Well, if you guys haven't noticed, it's on sale Black Friday for $8.
It's on Game Pass. Fuck you, what?
Oh,
damn
true.
it.
It is on Game Pass.
Pass.
It is on Game Pass.
I mean,
Well, for
go give them no money, fam. You tripping?
You are right. Do not give them any money. Absolutely, I agree. All right, my pick is gonna definitely go with Genshin Impact as well. I haven't gotten a chance to dive into it too much. Definitely not in comparison to Chris, but I do have it downloaded on my iPad and my phone, and something I do look forward to getting a bit more into, especially when I hear echoes of Breath of the Wild. I mean, that's definitely a game that I need to dive into a little bit more. I'm kind of disappointed to see Final Fantasy remake on here. I'm not gonna lie, but it's gonna sound
Nostalgia.
like I'm hating, but I just don't think it. I don't think it was as good as people. It's there for nostalgia. That's why it's there, because everybody loved the game.
Yeah, it's there for nostalgia, for aesthetics, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I wish we could have replaced it with something better, but I think either way you slice it, Genshin
Well,
will probably be okay.
let me also say this about Final Fantasy. Now, I will agree. I do think over the years, and I used to be one of the biggest Final Fantasy fans on the planet. Over the years, I've come to realize again, it's not like what I thought it was. The stories don't make sense, all that shit. But if we're talking about just the definition of a role playing game and just deep customization and deep character trees and all that stuff, we cannot shit on Final Fantasy at all. Like we just truly cannot. Because especially when you look at the console games that come out every couple years, they come out with a new mechanic in every single one of these games, and they're all turn-based JRPG style games, but they're slightly different from one another every single time. Sometimes they'll give you more of an action-based kind of thing. Sometimes it will be like really, really hardcore turn-based. But the customization and all that stuff, and you being able to pick your attacks and all that, it definitely opened the door for other games. So I get why it's here. It's just it didn't age well. You know what I mean? Like that. Just didn't age well.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm curious. Do you think the Outer Worlds should have been in here? When did that release last year?
Last year in 2019, the DLC came out this year. But
like, did it release? I guess that's something we should probably look into.
It released last year, October, I believe.
October, yeah.
Okay, so it would have gotten a nomination last year if it did or not.
I believe it did get a nomination.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, then yeah. Because I was gonna say if that similar to another game that we'll see on here later on with Jedi Fallen Order, if that had come out in December, then I would have expected to see some sort of nomination here. But yeah, if it came out in October or September, then that makes sense. So we'll leave that as is. So moving on to another category here, we've got Best Action Adventure Game. So the first nominee here, the game we've talked about at length last week, is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Then we've got Ghost of Tsushima, Got Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. We've got Ori Will of the Wisp, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and The Last of Us Part 2. So, Manny, I'm going to let you take this one.
Man, if Miles Morales was just a little longer, man, a little longer. I mean, the game was great, but I just felt like the story was just too short, and I was a little bit disappointed because I completed it within 6 hours with like most of the side missions, all that stuff. I'm gonna have to go with for best action adventure, The Last of Us Part Two, just because just exploring and the gunplay is really good for what this category is about, anyways. So I think that game's like the most polished from what I felt when I was playing it.
Okay. Okay, cool. Chris, what about you, man?
I'd probably have to go somewhere between, I guess, Assassin's Creed and The Last of Us. Ori gets a lot of respect here. Don't get me twisted, but if it was just best adventure game or best platformer, I would give it to Ori all day. For whatever reason, with it having action tied to it, it just kind of makes it so I can't choose that. And then Spider-Man is short, like what Goop is saying. But when I think about Last of Us Part Two, and then especially like Valhalla, Valhalla's like there's not a lot of games where like you get a Viking experience, man. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of games where you're able to like immerse yourself fully in that and then still be able to have the action be on point and all that. Like that's a cool take on what they're doing. Like it almost reminds me of how American Horror Story always has like a different theme every single time, and then they kind of knock it out of the park every time they do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Assassin's Creed reminds me of, but the video game version, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah, no, I understand that completely. That makes a lot of sense to me. Um, Assassin's Creed has been killing it for a while. I think, especially these last three, they've kind of shifted more towards RPG experiences. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if I saw Valhalla in here for best RPG as opposed to some of the games that were in that category. But alas, I understand why it's set up that way. Um, I'm probably gonna have to go with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That game highly underrated from last year, the tail end of last year. I absolutely loved playing that game from start to finish. The action in the game, the the feel of it was very uniquely Star Wars in a way that I haven't felt about a game in quite some time. Not even from like Battlefront. Uh, I love the Metroidvania style action in the game. The exploration and being able to find different abilities and level yourself up and upgrade your lightsaber, upgrade your force abilities. Like it was just a fantastic game, and I definitely recommend everybody play it. It's actually in Game Pass now, so
Oh damn!
if anybody's
I didn't know
looking for
that.
it, definitely check that out. But yeah, that's gonna be
That's
my
big. I did not know that was in Game
It's
Pass.
huge,
Wow.
man. Huge. One of the best games of last year in Game Pass. So definitely think people should check that out. All right, so we'll jump up to. Whoops, almost lost it here. So we'll jump up to best action game. This one should be interesting. So, first nominee we have here is Doom Eternal. Then we've got Hades, a game that seems to be getting a lot of nominations this year. Half-Life Alex, and Neo 2, and Streets of Rage 4. So, Chris, I'll let you tackle this one here, man. Which one you picking?
It's got to be Doom. Doom. I think that's the what's the word I'm looking for here? I feel like when people think about action games, like Doom is always brought up in every conversation. Like I don't know a lot of like yeah, like when I think about it, yeah, it's most conversations is brought up, I would say. And if you've played any of the Doom games, you know it's nothing but like carnage nonstop. Carnage, shooting stuff, body parts, dismemberments. It is not for the faint of heart. If you got bad nerves and a weak heart, don't play no Doom, man. I'm telling you right now, this is gonna put you out. It's gonna put you out, man. Don't be doing that. No, no. Mm-mm.
Okay,
But
okay.
in terms of everything, like, cause like Hades, I know a little bit about Hades, and it's a dope looking game, but I wouldn't say it's like action packed. Streets of Rage is I don't understand why that's not in the best fighting game. That's not here. And Neo, uh, it's alright, but it ain't Doom.
Doom's
Doom
different.
different.
Yeah, Doom is
Yeah.
different for sure. Okay, okay. Word. Manny, what about you, man?
Yeah. I might have to agree with Chris. It was either Doom or Streets of Rage 2 because I played a little bit of that, and it's a pretty dope little side scroller arcade type of action game. Brings back the nostalgia of like old side scrollers I used to play like in the arcades. But Doom is just there with the action, just ripping body parts, killing demons, shooting them, they explode and all that kind of stuff. That's where it is. That's what Doom is. It's just pure action. So I'm gonna have to go with Doom for my pick.
For sure. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna echo what you guys said here. I don't want to sound like a broken record, so I won't dwell on it too much. But yeah, Doom definitely super fast, action-packed game. Almost kind of rhythmic. How you can jump from ripping one demon apart to another. Like it's definitely like got a certain pace to it. So that's definitely gonna be my pick for best action game for sure. So we'll move on to another category here that's pretty interesting. It's best community support. So they describe it as recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of a social media activity and game updates slash patches. So the first game we have here, first nominee is going to be Apex Legends. Then we've got Destiny 2, Fall Guys, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, and Valorant. So I'm going to start by saying my pick would have to be for Destiny 2. Uh, I feel like the way that community is set up, very passionate set of fans. It's very difficult to appease those fans, as I am one of them myself. Um, and I think Bungie does a pretty decent job of communicating with the community. Communicating with the community, letting people in on what's coming next, and yeah, that's gonna be my pick. Chris, I'll push it over to you. I suspect you'll have a similar thing to say.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna echo all of that just for the simple fact that, like, again, there's not a game studio that I know that is as transparent as Destiny is. Destiny, they give you a weekly twab every single week. They make sure they give you patch note previews before you get the patch notes. They give you Vidocs. They give you like everything that they do in that game. There's never any like sneaky, underhanded stuff that kind of happens. Even in terms of like their monetization, they're constantly bringing up the Eververse store in their 12s. Like, we understand. We're hearing the feedback. We want to understand how to twist it up and change it up and tweak it so that way it comes out fair for everybody. Like they're constantly trying to talk to folks about, oh, we're changing the brightness economy. We're changing this economy. We want to try to make it fairer for everybody. Between the season pass, between a lot of different things that Destiny does in terms of that is just crazy. When you see some of these community managers all over Reddit and they don't take weeks and months to respond to you. No, you put something up and if it gets enough attention, they're going to respond to you. There's a reason why people like tout DMG and what's the other guy's name? Deej, I think his name is. Over there, I think Deej is leaving, which
I
is
think it's
kind of sad.
Cosmo. Cosmo's
Oh,
gonna be.
Cosmo, there you go. Yeah, that's the other guy. Those two dudes, everybody who plays Destiny knows those guys. Everybody.
Yeah,
It's just they do a good job of making it feel like it's one big ass family over at Bungie, and it's cool. Cool. I don't get that from nobody else.
I agree. I agree. Shout out to Bungie, man. They're doing great work over there. Manny, what about you, man? Which one are you going with?
I can't, agree with you guys because, I ain't played Destiny like you guys, you Destiny fanboys.
Because you've been
But
busy playing 2K. Yeah.
nah, get 2K out of here. That ain't a part of this conversation or this category. So, but 2K would have the worst community support, first of all.
I don't
But
disagree with you there. I don't disagree with
I'm gonna have to go with Fall Guys. Just because I know when Fall Guys was the hot game of the summer. Like I remember there's one point where Tim the Tatman would like tweet at them and they would respond making fun of him. Like that's honestly like where you could get the best support. Like or they had the not support but engagement. You know what I mean? Like with the community, just like just taking their time, just like poking jokes at everybody who can't get the crowns and stuff like that, and also just obviously fixing the bugs and stuff like that, which they do. But yeah, Fall Guys is gonna have to be my pick.
Okay. Okay. I definitely have to say Fall Guys did have a really good social media account, really good community engagement as far as that goes. So yeah, I would say they're for me they'd be like number two. But yeah, I think Bungie's kind of unmatched as far in my opinion as far as how they handle their community support. But jumping up to the next category here, we got best mobile game. So the nominees are Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, sorry, and Pokemon Cafe Mix. So, Chris, I'll let you start off again, man.
It's gonna come down to Genshin and Among Us, and my inner self. If it was just an award show that where I was able to just vote myself or whatever, and my only one vote counted, I would go for Genshin. But I know Among Us probably should win this just based on accessibility, based on it's so easy for anybody to be able to get on Among Us and play it. I mean, we were talking about the politician a couple weeks back, and you see what that one game was able to kind of like ruffle up, you know. So it's just too hard to beat a game that everybody can have and everybody has access to, and everybody seems like they have fun with. I don't know too many people who say they don't like the game. Call of Duty mobile people make memes about that. Uh, Pokemon Cafe Mix.
Meh.
Yeah, Legends of Runeterra. Don't get me wrong, the artwork for this looks pretty cool. I've never played it before. I'd be interested because it's Riot Games too. They're pretty good. Um, but I don't know much about it. But I gotta say, Among Us, that game literally been out forever, and it just picked up speed like Steam out of nowhere, and then most people probably have it on their phone now. That's crazy to think about, but yeah,
Yeah, man.
it's everywhere.
Okay. Manny, what you got?
Yeah, I'm have to agree. Like Chris said, Among Us is just anywhere. Like games like Genshin and stuff like that. Like all these other games obviously like have mobile support, but like Among Us, it's gonna be like less challenging for your mobile device. Like as if you're trying to play like Genshin Impact, you kind of like need that like a more recent phone that can handle it. So the fact that you could literally just download it pretty much on any mobile device for Among Us and be able to play with your friends and like for example, if you're all just chilling at the house, even though we in quarantine season, um, just be able to pop up the game and just use that as like a party game, like how we would play like a Monopoly and stuff like that. It could just because how fun Among Us is.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I'm gonna go with Among Us as well. I think it's again. I don't want to be a broken record here with as far as what I feel about it, but it's a fun game. It's really accessible. I think a lot of people love it, so that's gonna be my pick. And we'll move on to the next category. So we've got best ongoing game. Um, somewhat of overlap on community support in a way, but either way, they describe it as awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. So the first game in the list is Apex Legends. Then we have Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. So Manny, I'll send it back to you. Which one are you picking here?
I'm gonna have to go with Apex Legends. I know like you could argue that like games like Fortnite and what is it called Warzone that like they kind of do the same thing. They got the new seasons, this, that, and the third. But what I like about Apex is not only do they do like these like map changes. Like I know a couple seasons ago they tweaked up like the first map, and then like this last season that they just dropped, it's like a whole new map completely. But also how they have to like create new legends and like make them unique to make you want to play as the new legends. So I think for that with the ongoing content that they bring to the community, I have to say Apex Legends out of all these are would be my pick.
Okay, cool. Chris, what about you?
Um, I gotta go with Call of Duty. Um, I loved what they've done over the course of this past year in terms of this evolution of the game, evolution of the sandbox, evolution of Warzone in particular. Not really so much in terms of
Modern Warfare.
multiplayer. Yeah, the multiplayer side of things, I think they neglect a little bit now because the money is in the BR, so they put most of their attention there, I feel. But yeah, man, and from them doing, opening up the stadium, which was closed for mad long, and it kind of like changed the dynamic of the game. They did things like adding a train, then they added a whole subway system, and they gave us the whole at nighttime thing during Halloween with the zombies, and they just are always switching something up. And not saying other games don't, because I know Fortnite and Apex and all those other games do the same things. They add characters and new abilities and stuff too, but I don't know, man. Something about the way Call of Duty has handled this year with Warzone in specific is just it's been nice to see. It just I could put that game down for a couple months and then still want to check out what the new season is about because I know something new is going to be there. That's awesome. I love it.
Okay. So I'm gonna start by saying I am actually really impressed when I think about it. I'm impressed by all of these games. I think they all have an amazing community, and they really get a lot of support. Like almost every single one of these games, you can point to and say they push out new content at a pretty consistent clip. I would say if there was one that was, I guess, less consistent, it would be No Man's Sky because they drop bigger content packs. But yeah,
Yeah.
when you look at Apex, you look at Destiny, you look at Warzone, you look at Fortnite, they are seasonal games, and I think that all of these studios do an amazing job of actually refreshing that content on a very consistent basis. But I'm gonna go with what Chris said on Warzone. I think every season that you go through Warzone, they find a way to change up the map. They find a way to change up some new element to just continue to give you more oh shit moments in like a really amazing sandbox.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I remember when they added the train into the game, that changed things up. When they blew out the whole stadium so that you can actually go into it, I feel like that was a massive game changer. When they did the Halloween event with the zombies, that was a massive game changer too. I just feel like there aren't many games that you can sit there and say change the way you look at them so consistently, um, season over season, month over month, week over week, like Warzone. And it's accessible. Everybody can get it. It's free. It's got crossplay. Like it's just an amazing game. So Warzone's definitely gonna be my pick here. All right, and we'll move on to the next topic or the next category here. So let's see, what do we have? Best performance. So awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and or performance capture. So we've got Ashley Johnson as Ellie, the first nominee in The Last of Us. Laura Bailey as Abby, also in The Last of Us. We've got Dasuke Suji as Jin Sake from Ghost of Tsushima. We've got Logan Cunningham as Hades in Hades. And then we've got Najee Jeter as Miles Morales in Spider-Man Miles Morales. So, Chris, I'll let you start this one off. Which one are you picking here?
Um, I gotta go with Ellie, I guess, for The Last of Us. It's just one of those things. If we're talking about best performance, that's to me the bread and butter of Last of Us. It's not necessarily about the gameplay mechanics or any of that stuff. They truly do very, very well at evoking emotion and storytelling. And I mean, look at the thumbnails that they have for the two characters for the for the categories. You know what I'm saying? Like you got one and she's just sitting there looking like, I will bite your whole neck out, bruh. And then she got blood splattered on the face. And then the other one, I don't even know what she's doing, but she looked like it's something crazy. Yeah, like it's just they're so good at the emotion of things. And yeah, call it. I gotta go with them.
Okay, cool.
That's why they take so long to put games out.
That is true. That is true. Manny, what about you?
Yeah, I'm about to agree. It's definitely hard to pick between Ashley and Laura Bailey. you know, Naughty Dog always, nails it when it comes to like best performance with the voice acting and everything like that. I want to make sure everything's like spot on and make you like feel for the game and everything like that. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Ashley with Ellie. The things that she gone through in the game and like the way the character, performed and the voice actor, of course. Definitely a great job.
Okay, cool, cool. All right, I'm gonna deviate from the two of you guys here. I'm gonna actually go with Najee Jeter as Miles Morales. I uh, I just really like the way he portrayed that character and brought a character that a lot of people love to life. In a video game. I think he captured the essence and the swagger of Miles pretty well and did it over the course of a really good story. So I'm definitely gonna have to go with Miles Morales or Najee Jeter specifically. All right. So let's jump up to best art direction. So outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. So once again, we've got the nostalgia pick here for Final Fantasy remake. I really don't hate Final Fantasy that much, guys. Just trust me. We got Ghost of Tsushima, we got Hades, we got Ori Will of the Wisp, and then we've got The Last of Us Part 2. So, Chris, take it away, man.
That's art direction.
This is kind of a tough one, huh?
No, it is tough. I guess I gotta go Ori. Yeah, Ori's Ghost of Tsushima almost wins just because like how they really put work into that game. I think for people to just kind of like take their time and kind of screenshot everything and absorb the beauty of the game. Like for them, it's not necessarily I think like about the main character because the main character is not anything special. I think we've seen before, but I think it's more just the environments that they made in Ghost of Tsushima that people are just like, whoa. Um, and again, I'm not trying to make excuses for Final Fantasy because I wouldn't vote for them. But if we're talking about art direction, it's another one of those games where it's like for so long it was like if we had a category for most beautiful game, they gotta be included because like they're so good at making beautiful, aesthetically pleasing games. They just don't be making no damn sense. Uh, but they look nice, they look really good. But yeah, I guess yeah, it's got to be Ori. Ori's the most unique looking thing out of all of these. You can look at Ori real quickly and might not even know it's a platformer until you actually play it for a second, and then you're like, oh, this is the kind of game it is. You kind of can't tell just by looking at it. I like that.
That's a really good observation. I really agree with that. Yeah, it's you wouldn't necessarily know what kind of game Ori is when you look at it initially. So yeah, I like that. I like you said that. Minnie, what about you, man?
I'm gonna have to go with Ghost of Tsushima. I'm sorry, Chris, but the game is just too beautiful. The way like just everything is when you're riding your horses around the plantation fields. Just the fact that the game makes you feel like you're in like a samurai movie. It just looks amazing. The gameplay is amazing. Like it feels amazing, and like I said, I'm just have to just the game is just aesthetically pleasing. I'm gonna have to go with Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay, I would definitely respect that. I definitely would have to go with Ori. I think from an art direction standpoint, just being creative and different and something that you don't see very often, I would have to say Ori and the Will of the Wisp would take the cake there. I think it's a absolutely beautiful game artistically. I understand where people would lean into Ghost of Tsushima. I don't think it's anything different that we haven't seen before. I mean, it's a beautiful game, and I think if we're going to go for like best graphics, sure, it can go in that category. But I don't feel like it's anything that we haven't already seen, right? Whereas Ori and the Will of the Wisp, I think, is very different. And again, to echo what Chris had said, I don't think that if you look at that game, if you just see a screenshot of the game or something along those lines, you're not necessarily going to know what kind of game it is at first. So, yeah, Ori and the Will of the Wisp is going to definitely be my pick. So we'll dive into the next category here, best narrative. So let's see. Um, so best narrative. So for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game, so we've got 13 Sentinels, game I've never heard of before. Final Fantasy remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part Two. So I think we all know which one Manny might say. So I'll let him start it off. Which one you going with?
You already know my favorite game of all time, 13 Sentinels.
Oh.
Let me stop. Let me stop. Never played it. Probably is a good game, but I'm gonna have to go with The Last of Us 2. Like I said, Naughty Dog always hits it with the narrative direction and like just the way the conversations happen, and just the way every character interacts with each other and all that kind of stuff. It just feels real. So that's what I really love about The Last of Us too. So I'm gonna have to go with that for my vote.
Okay, cool. Chris?
Well, again, it for damn sure ain't Final Fantasy, cause it don't make no damn sense. It just doesn't. It just don't. Um, so we damn sure not finna get that best narrative. Oh hell, that would just be
Be a
oh
travesty.
hells no, yeah, we would lose all credibility as a podcast. Um, yeah, it's got to be Last of Us, man. Again, I already touched on how they are so good at evoking emotions within people, and there's not a lot of video games that do that for me, man. That really made me like feel something, like I felt that, like I could probably, if I'm being 100% real, count on both my hands how many video games really gave me that kind of feeling. And Last of Us tells a crazy story. It's yeah, Last of Us easily.
Absolutely.
Last of Us.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I'm. This is gonna be a clean sweep here because I'm definitely gonna have to pick Last of Us as well. I think one and two had absolutely amazing narratives, amazing stories, amazing character development. It's especially this one as far as Ellie goes. Seeing her develop as a character from the course of the first game, to the end credits of the second one. I think it's just an amazing story, and I think it speaks volumes that this game is going to be turned into a TV show with HBO. They just announced this week that it officially got greenlit. Uh, and HBO don't fuck around. they don't take shitty stories. So, the fact that The Last of Us is getting turned into a TV show tells you a lot. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. Neil Druckmann, one of the writers on the show, I think that the lead writer on the game is also going to be writing for the show, and he definitely deserves the award here. So, a shout out to him. Shout out to
I got a
Naughty Dog in general.
segue question before we even move any forward. Just we don't got to spend a lot of time on this because I would prefer we didn't. But
Go ahead.
I gotta understand you guys' thoughts here. Who do you guys think should play Ellie on the show?
If
I
they go the route, because I actually don't know if they're gonna just remake the game or if it's just gonna be a story in that
like in that world. Yeah,
if
yeah.
they do, it should be Ellen Page, right? Like she was.
That's who I think it should be too. But yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do that because that's the thing. That Ellen Page is how old is she now? She's a little older now than she was before, clearly.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like, is she in her 30s yet?
She's
Will,
got to be.
will she
She's got to
will
be.
she will she look like Ellie like how she needs
Here's
to?
the thing, man. She always looks young. Like no matter what you do,
True,
she just looks
true.
young, anyways. So I think you could pull it off, but I think it also depends on like you said, it depends on where they decide to go with this. What if they decided to do Ellie in like a couple years down the road? We see what happens after The Last of Us Part Two. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Um, yeah, maybe we get more of Abby's story. I guess maybe beforehand. I think there's a lot of different ways they can go with it, but I would be really curious to see where that goes. Manny, what about you? What do you think would play Ellie?
I'm gonna have to go with yeah. Like I just don't know any other person who could fit the Ellie role. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I can't think
yeah,
of anybody else, so that'd be how I'd have to go with as well.
I mean, I guess if they stole what's her name from Walking Dead, what was her? I don't know her actual in real life name, but she played what is her name? She was on Walking Dead, and she had like a little thing with Carl going on a little bit. Golly,
Oh, I know what you're
Enid.
talking about.
Enid. That's her name. Yeah.
See that show in a long time, so I don't know who you're talking about.
I can see that. Like she doesn't
Yeah.
really look like Ellen Page, but I could see her fitting that role. Like she's a badass in the show, and like essentially Ellie turns into a badass in the game. So that would be interesting. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. You got another one?
Nah, that's all I got.
Okay. All right, so we'll dive into the next category here. So let's see. So best game direction. So awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. So the first nominee we have here, Final Fantasy Remake, again, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, and The Last of Us Part 2. So, Chris, I'll let you tackle this one. I know which one you're not picking. I know that for sure.
Man, this is going to be the one I was going to pick Final Fantasy on.
Oh.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Final Fantasy for the win, baby. Nah, hell no. I'm all the way joking. That shit the hell out of here. Creative vision and innovative game direction and design. Man.
I don't know if you remake.
And a remake of all things. Golly. No, get that shit out of here. It's got to be against Last of Us, you know. I mean, Half-Life Alyx, I've never played it before, so I really couldn't 100% say it. On paper, that could also possibly win. But I would have to experience that to say. Until then, it's got to be Last of Us.
Okay. Yeah, Manny, what about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Chris. The Last of Us probably gonna take the cake on this one with the way the game went with the direction as well as what they did with the visuals as well. So I'm gonna have to go with The Last of Us too.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Half-Life Alyx. I know everybody loves The Last of Us. I don't know if I think it would necessarily fall into the category of creative vision and innovation in game direction. It feels like it still plays pretty much the same as the first one. I mean, they've done an amazing job of giving you a gripping story, but I don't feel like it breaks the wheel in any meaningful way. Whereas Half-Life Alyx is, it's a very different game, right? Like they found a way to take a traditional first-person shooter story and fit it into a VR game, a really good VR game at that. Having to actually be able to integrate, with your hands and all different types of things. I think Half-Life Alyx is the future of VR games. I think it kind of that definitely breaks the wheel. The little of it that I played, I was absolutely blown away. So I'm definitely gonna have to pick Half-Life Alyx here for me.
I dig it.
Yeah. And then we've got
I can dig it.
the big one, the final category. So we got Game of the Year. Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. So this is the creme de la creme. Why am I not excited about these nominees, though? Let's get into it. So, Game of the Year, we've got Doom Eternal. We've got Final Fantasy Remake. We've got Ghost of Tsushima. Got Hades. Animal Crossing New Horizon. And The Last of Us Part 2. I'm just going to start off by saying, why the hell is Animal Crossing in here, guys? Why the hell is Final Fantasy in here, guys?
Final Fantasy I can understand, but Animal Crossing,
I can't understand Final Fantasy.
I can't understand either one of those games, man. You were the one repping Animal Crossing, like
That's what I said. Animal Crossing is the game.
And out of every game that came out this year, that deserves a top 6 spot.
That's the thing. This year was dry when it came out.
Bruh.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like this year was dry, but
it was. But
man,
it wasn't that dry where you got to go pick an Animal Crossing. They just wanted to put a Switch game in there. Let's be real. Let's be real.
I mean, you're acting like Animal Crossing ain't fun. Like that game.
I'm not saying it's not, bro, but not top 6 worthy.
It's definitely not top 6 worthy. It's not. It's no. But anyways, well, I'll just start off by saying Last of Us Part 2 is the clear winner here. Like, I don't know how you can pick anything else, in my opinion. But yeah, Manny, I'll let you go ahead and you can take it again.
Man, like I mean, what is there? What else is there to say? Last of Us 2 winning. I mean, I'm gonna say the sleeper is gonna be Animal Crossing. That's the only other one I could see winning. And y'all might call me crazy, but I wouldn't be surprised if Animal Crossing do end up winning. But like I said, The Last of Us 2 is definitely gonna win Game of the Year if it's not Animal Crossing.
Look, man, if if Animal Crossing wins over The Last of Us, shut it down, bro. Shut everything down. I mean, I know it's fan voted, and man, yeah, I just have a hard time believing the gaming community will collectively get together and agree that Animal Crossing is the best that gaming had to offer for this year.
2020.
Nah, it's not. It's not gonna happen. It's just not. Chris, what was your pick?
Damn sure ain't no damn Animal Crossing, and it damn sure ain't no Final Fantasy. Like Ghost of Tsushima, the reason why it's here is because of the level of detail that they put into the environments and all that. Like you have to, a game that they put that much care into almost has to be recognized in its way. But I don't know if necessarily the story holds up in a sense like that. Doom is dope, but it's niche. You know what I mean? It's like it's super. If you just want a game where you just go in there and just shoot a bunch of shit up and watch things explode, sure. But don't get mad when you're not really getting much else besides that. That's the game. You know, it's just a bunch of carnage. Whereas, what is Last of Us? Last of Us wins, but it's by default. You know, it's not by because it won because it's just a by default win. We all know if Cyberpunk had came out, it would be no contest. No contest at all. Come on, man. I saw more detail in that trailer than.
Yeah, I feel like The Last of Us 2 wasn't good though.
I will say that it would be between The Last of Us and Cyberpunk. I don't think it's necessarily a runaway for Cyberpunk. I just feel like that's a more fair fight, in my opinion. I think Cyberpunk may have ended up winning it anyways, but man, I don't know. I guess we really don't know, right? Like now we played the game yet. It just looks amazing. It looks like super detailed, and I think the story is going to be amazing. But The Last of Us 2, it deserves to be here for sure, and I think it will win. And if it wins, it deserves to win.
I'm just saying. I just think it's
just a weak. It's a weak year.
Yeah,
it's a weak. It's a weak lineup, but I mean, even if you were to put a decent title like next to Last of Us 2, like The Last of Us 2 was a really good game, so
yeah,
it's not like it's the only winner because the weak titles, even though that's how it's gonna look this year.
But dude, don't make this be your fourth cap, bro. You know damn well that this shit here. You know damn well.
I said this year is dry. Did I not say that?
No, but you're saying also like let's not try to make it seem like it only won because it's dry. I mean, it didn't have a lot of competition. You know what I mean? Like it didn't have any. This is the same as when Nicki Minaj won all those Best Female Rap Awards for like 5-6 years in a row because nobody else was outputting our music. You know what I'm saying? It's
we don't want to discredit them. Like, you know what I mean? They just the game. Last of Us was a great game. I mean, the only reason why it had bad reviews is because all those haters that gave it 1 star before the game came out. But other than that, the game had a great story. The game played well.
A lot of people were mad about the ending, so that
I was gonna say, that was a big thing.
Why people gave it bad scores, but
I heard a lot of people gave negative reviews, not a day when the game came out, when the game is supposed to have
the ending. That's why they gave them the bad scores.
They're leak and all that.
But
so people were mad about the ending.
Well, that's their fault.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that's the reason why it happened. But yeah, I mean, I think Last of Us 2 is a game that would win Game of the Year regardless of what year it came out. I just think it needs some more competition. It would be more interesting if it had more competition. The one thing I will say, I think, I mean, obviously we've iterated this already, but Animal Crossing and Final Fantasy shouldn't be here, in my opinion.
Crossing is gonna be second place.
Oh, please. If anything,
They
Ghost of
need
Tsushima would be second place.
Yeah, exactly.
nah.
Exactly. You're telling me, Goop, you are telling me that, yo, can somebody pull up the stats on Animal Crossing, how many copies sold and how many people currently play?
It's
There's
sold.
no way you're
It's
gonna
sold.
sit,
But not like,
but like,
no, not
I'm
big.
I'm sh- I'm sure
I
go.
think
I'm sure
I think
Animal
it was sold
Crossing
more
sold
than
more than
Ghost.
Ghost of
Yeah,
Tsushima.
yeah, I would agree with you.
Definitely.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you. But
so-
that's not why I'm saying it's a game of the year though.
right. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, Manny, you really are telling me right now that, in your opinion, Animal Crossing deserves to be higher on the Game of the Year list than Ghost of Tsushima.
Let me tell you
I'm
this:
just
if
saying.
it's Animal Crossing versus Ghost of Tsushima, Animal Crossing is winning.
That's
If
not what I'm
it
asking you.
was
I'm
just
asking
those
you
two
what
games,
your opinion on these two topics is. I know what the people gonna do. I'm talking about Goop.
it depends what kind of player you are. In the end, like if
Goop, we talking about you. What is your decision?
I'm gonna have to go with Animal Crossing because I still haven't touched Ghost of Tsushima. You acting like I play Ghost of Tsushima. Like I only seen gameplay of it. And the gameplay looks good, but like we're talking about Animal Crossing.
When have you played Animal Crossing? When have you played Animal Crossing? You're
What?
wild. When have you played Animal
Major
Crossing?
time.
I don't know,
You
man.
act like I don't play Animal Crossing though.
Okay, I mean, if you do, you do. I don't know, man. All I will say is this, or I'll pose the question and I'll give my answer first. But which game would you guys substitute either Animal Crossing or Final Fantasy with? For me, I would have to substitute Final Fantasy with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I think that game is absolutely amazing. I think over the course over the VGA's year, that is my game of the year. So I'll let you guys go. Manny, go ahead. Just keep capping. What else you got for
I
us?
mean, there's no other game that I like as much as The Last of Us 2 this year with story wise.
That's not what we asking. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking
But
which
what
one
other
of these.
games are there? That's the thing. Like,
So there's no other game that
there's-
you played this year that you think is better than Final Fantasy or like that can substitute out one of these games. You don't think anything's been released? No.
I mean, nothing that I enjoyed personally.
Resident Evil, nothing.
Like, and Resident Evil was too short. That game was like 6 hours long. It was like it falls in the same category as Miles Morales. Like, yeah, I enjoyed it, but like it was just too short for my status.
So you don't think Miles Morales could jump in for Final Fantasy? Final Fantasy remake is short.
I mean, it probably
Definitely allow
Miles
that.
Morales probably can, but I just don't like either way. Like, I don't know if Miles Morales will deserve a Game of the Year award.
But you literally are making an argument for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, acting, bro.
Bruh.
Yeah, you're acting like Animal Crossing is not good.
I didn't
The
say
amount
that.
of,
You're not
the amount of
hearing me,
things you can
bro.
do, bro. Miles Morales, who played like I 100% the game, and I probably have like 10 hours max on that right now. Like 100% at what? That's I'm done with the game. I could throw it out. Animal Crossing, like it has like what monthly updates or like seasonal updates where they change like some of the things. You
Well,
always
like
got
you
to.
got like a green fish in the pond instead of a blue one? Like that literally, bro? Like, come on, fam. Like, dog.
Manny, if you had to go back and play either one of those games for the first time, right? Like a brand new experience, fresh. Which one would you prefer playing for the first time over again?
Well, if it's like, well, you erase my memory, like, of course, I'm gonna want to play Spider-Man again. But the thing is, no, don't do that. But it's not about how the game was at first. It's about the game of the year. You know what I mean? It's not
Manny,
about the game of.
what I specifically asked you is if you had to go back and play one of these games for the first time ever, right? Like, because you love the experience that much and you want to re-experience the story for the first time, which one of these games would you pick?
The thing about Miles Morales was like, all right, it was like a PlayStation 5 launch
He's
game. Of
ducking.
course, like I'm gonna.
He's ducking.
Nah, it's not that. It's not that, bro. Animal Crossing is a game you could play forever and you'd be fine. Like, like Miles Morales, like, is gonna collect dust if you ain't like.
Manny, answer the question.
Don't.
Answer the question.
What do you mean answer the question?
You could, because the argument you're making right now is the same argument you can make for The Last of Us Part 2. It's a game that's designed for you to play it one time, maybe twice, and that's it. right? Like that's how most of these games in this list are designed.
Man, the only thing about Miles Morales is an overpaid DLC. Like
Okay.
they make you pay
But I
$50
mean, Final
for a
Fantasy is an overpaid remake. You know, it's the same boat.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, you can replace Final Fantasy with Spider-Man, Miles Morales, but I ain't voting for those games either.
Yeah. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I think most Switch games are overpaid, except for a select few that I really think are like worth that money. But like,
Bro,
I don't
video
know.
games is overpaid nowadays. They're charging you $70 for
But at
games that are
least I can
probably like
understand the work that goes into certain games. You know what I'm saying? Like when I know God of War
Switch
2
games ain't
comes out,
$70.
that's what I'm making the argument about. Yeah. Like it's just there's not a lot of Twitch games outside of like Breath of the Wild and a couple others that I would say I'd give you 50, $60. Even Pokemon. I love Pokemon, but Pokemon don't cost $50, $60, bro. It doesn't. On any platform. It don't matter if we're talking about Go, whatever. None of that shit should cost $60. But they're able to get away with it because it has a humongous, ridiculous fan base and all that stuff. So they can get away with it. But it shouldn't. It's hard for me to say that a game like Animal Crossing is so let me say something, right? If, if Cyberpunk never got pushed back, right, and it came out when it was supposed to come out and it would have made the nominations list this year, we would have had Cyberpunk in this category, right? You're telling me in your heart of hearts, you think that it is completely justifiable that Cyberpunk would be in the same category with friggin' Animal Crossing right next to it.
Yeah, I'm not getting the point.
Come
Bro,
dude.
it's game
You're
of
not
the
getting
year. Yeah, Cyberpunk is gonna be the same category as in Animal Crossing for game of the year, but it's like what you're not understanding is it's not about best action game, best graphic design, this, that, and the third. We're talking about game of the year. Like
Manny, be
I
honest
didn't
with
say
yourself.
any of that.
Be honest with yourself, right?
I ain't being honest with myself. Yeah, I feel like Animal
Look at the
Crossing is
descriptor.
bad.
Listen, Manny, dude, look at the descriptor. Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. You think that Animal Crossing falls under that category?
You're acting like, what's wrong with doing chores like building
Go with
houses,
a yes or
growing
no.
crops, and stuff like that?
Close-ended
Bro, you're
question,
acting
bro.
like Animal Crossing isn't nice. Like Animal Crossing, honestly, is a really good game. It's just y'all are not you guys are not like saying, oh, it should be game of the year because y'all guys are mostly like into these action adventure games and stuff like that.
True. That's not true. Honestly,
Yeah,
if this
you
deserves to
talking
be
to the
here,
wrong people for that one, bro.
man, dude, if that
What?
game deserves to be here, then
You guys are the type to be like, oh, Destiny 2 should be game of the year because it had that new DLC
Literally
update.
nobody. Manny,
said that.
you invalidated
What are
your
you
own
talking
argument.
about?
You
You
invalidated
said
your
that.
own argument. Nobody here said that at all. You're invalidating your whole argument, bro. Like you making yourself look way worse right now.
All I gotta say is Animal Crossing deserves to be a nominee, but
Okay.
is it gonna win? Probably
So,
not.
can you just give me a clear explanation as to why? That's probably a better question. Why do you truly believe it deserves to be a nominee? Not even a winner. Why do you think that it deserves to share air with the rest of these games?
Just because like what it was. I mean, Animal Crossing, like what you can do now, what you play with your friends and stuff like that. With as well as like the stuff you could do to your own island and be creative. It's like a Minecraft, but like it's like it's Animal Crossing. It's like you could create your island however you wanted to, and that's it. Like Minecraft, everybody loves Minecraft,
I
and
wouldn't
Minecraft,
all
say that's
Minecraft.
game of the year
Minecraft
either.
never got Game of the Year
I
nominations
would have never
ever,
said that either.
ever.
It doesn't matter about Minecraft. I mean,
Yeah. Yo.
Minecraft was like
Hey.
20 years ago. See, the thing about Minecraft was like what? It was just like an indie game or whatever. I don't know. I don't mess with Minecraft that much, but I mean, it's the same concept as Minecraft. Everybody loves Minecraft, but all you do is just build stuff and like do whatever
So
you
first
want.
off, nobody's
That's
disagreeing with
strong.
that argument. You're absolutely right. It's very similar. I would argue that Minecraft is better because there's more you can
I
do
was
with
gonna
it.
say, yeah.
But nobody's arguing that those two games are that far off, right? Like the argument is that you would never put Minecraft in a game of the year conversation, and it never was. So why would you put Animal Crossing in it? You literally
Never was
just wanted a
because when
Nintendo game.
Minecraft came out, it was probably so low key that nobody really knew about it, and then when it
Minecraft
blew
was
up,
massive. It blew up to be massive. Minecraft is a significantly bigger game than Animal Crossing. If we talk about units sold, games played, bigger than any game in this category right now.
yeah, now. But I'm talking about when it first came out. Like we probably can't pull up the analytics because like that's probably like what 10. I don't know when the game came out, but like when the game came out, it probably was low key until like it just blew up somehow, and then like by the time it blew up, it probably was like past the year it came out, and so it couldn't be nominated. So
Right. Let's be real.
Okay.
It's a niche game that has a niche audience, and it's like The Sims almost, right? Like The Sims is a simulator, but I wouldn't probably ever put Sims for a game of the year ever. I don't think, not my opinion, not the ones they've come up with so far. But I know that there's a feverish fan base for that particular game. Like nobody's saying the game is bad. Nobody's saying that it's not fun in some cases. Nobody's saying any of that stuff. What we're saying is, if we're thinking about every game that came out this year, you're telling me out of all the hundreds of games that came out for the Switch alone, let alone all the other consoles and PC, that this game deserves to be top 6. You're telling me this game deserves to be here over Phasmophobia?
this year was
I
dry.
wouldn't even put Phasmophobia in there.
Phasmophobia, it definitely does deserve their Phasmophobia compared to Animal. No. Animal Crossing definitely deserves to be there over Phasmophobia. This year was dry with games, so let's be real. Animal Crossing top 6. It sounds realistic because of how bad this year was with games.
All right. Animal Crossing is the game of the moment. If COVID never existed and we didn't have to go into quarantine, that game would not blow up the way it did. It just wouldn't. People really sat there, bought Switches because they were in COVID and couldn't do, we were in COVID quarantine, we couldn't do anything. So people were really sitting down here, and that game was drawing a lot of hype and a lot of attention. But at its core, that game is not game of the year material, in my opinion. Manny, you can say whatever you want.
If it wins game of the year, if it wins game of the year,
It won't.
Twitter
you're
will
not gonna be
explode.
crying to me.
Twitter will
Well,
explode if it wins Game of the Year. I promise you. I promise you.
I would
Twitter
you
will.
know,
What?
you know what? Now I want Animal Crossing to win the game of the year just to prove you guys wrong.
I mean, you won't. Like I've never been more sure about anything in my life. Like that game is not going to win Game of the Year. There's no way in hell that the people who watch the Game Awards would vote for Animal Crossing as Game of the Year. There's just no way. None. It'll win like a best Nintendo game somewhere over the course of this award season, but it's not gonna win Game of the Year. No. Nope.
It's gonna win. No, let me stop. It's not. Like I said, y'all just like not giving it enough credit. But
Let me
it's
do
whatever.
something else. So hold on. Let me see something.
Well, Chris,
Let's pull this
while
up.
you're looking that up though, I guess we didn't really get to your part of the question. So if there was a game you would swap out, what would it be and why?
If I had to swap out anything, it would definitely be Final Fantasy first, even above whatchamacallit, just because I really, really don't think a remake should be in there. That doesn't sit too well with me.
As far as what you put in there,
That's what I'm trying to think of. What would I put in there to replace it? I guess I would go with something like Fall Guys or something like that. I feel like that is way more deserving.
What?
Way more.
then Final
Fall
Fantasy,
Guys?
yeah, I would say that absolutely. Yeah, I would agree with you. Then Final Fantasy for sure. I think Final Fantasy
I just
it was meh. Fall Guys was a lot of fun. I would even throw like I don't know. I think even Assassin's Creed might deserve a nod. That was a good game.
Yeah, I would agree. Like these are games that you could see, like you watch them, you look at not Final Fantasy,
Animal Crossing.
Assassin's Creed,
Oh,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
look at that, they put their foot in that, man.
Yeah.
They really put their foot in Animal Crossing. They didn't do that. They just come on, man. Like, don't even get me started about Nintendo and how they handle business, because it's gonna turn into that kind of rant. But they did not aim to blow anybody away with Animal Crossing. I don't think. I think they just updated what the older game was a little bit, put it out there for the niche fans that are really caring about it. But come on, man, ain't no general masses sitting here like, yo, that Animal Crossing about to come out tomorrow, man. I got a pre-order for that shit. Some people, but it ain't. no, you got more people doing that for 2K and all them other games any day of the week than even 2K deserves to be here more than that, I would say. And it has all those issues you guys talk about. But even that game, given the amount of work I know they tried to put into it, to me deserves to be here way more than I don't either Final Fantasy or
2K
what you
definitely
call
doesn't
it.
deserve to be there.
I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree because I don't think Manny came up with any good points as to why Animal Crossing should be here. But I think what we'll do is we'll leave it up to the viewers and the listeners. If you guys think Animal Crossing deserves to be on this list and you think it deserves to win, leave us a comment. Let us know. Hit us up on YouTube. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram. Let us know what you guys think. For now, we'll table the conversation. I think we'll have to do our own Game of the Year episode later on in December. Maybe after Cyberpunk's come out and whatnot, and we can all have a deeper conversation about what we think Game of the Year should be or is, I should say. But again, just a reminder, we're gonna be going live December 10th to react to the Game Awards. So make sure you check us out on Twitch at XPAC Pod as well as on YouTube. And yeah, I hope to see you guys there. I hope you guys will join us, and hopefully we'll have some more debates and discussions around the games and the nominees. So before we go, as we always do, Manny, where can the people find you?
Yeah, my Nintendo Switch ID is let me stop. You can you can find me on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, OnlyFans, MySpace. You know how we do. Goopmaster Flex. The only difference is on Instagram is just Goopmaster Flex under TTV. But other than that, everywhere else is Goopmaster Flex.
All right. Chris, where can the people find you?
Everywhere that you can try to look for somebody, social media wise or content wise, I guess YouTube, all that other good stuff. MAY25THXX. And understand, there ain't no capping going on around here like this. All right, none at all. Disappointed in you, Goop.
Oh man, yeah.
Are you sure about that?
We'll have to do something
Yes.
with Mr. Group. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Like you said, you guys can find me at Black Ice 8 pretty much everywhere: Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Twitter. Instagram would be the only place where it's a little different. It's gonna be Black Ice 8 _ gaming. But make sure to check us out. Make sure to follow the podcast on all these services at XPAC Pod. And we'll check you guys out next time. Have a good one.